please.
Hello. My name is Lakshya Sani, and I'm from India. I'm currently studying in London. I'm doing a third year in physics with astrophysics and cosmology. And around 4 years ago, in 2021, I came upon this book, Thiaoouba Prophecy, and I read the book, and it felt like that everything makes sense, and it felt like it didn't feel like that I'm learning something new. It just felt like that my soul is remembering what it forgot. And before that, I was a very big UFO and alien enthusiast, and I was reading about the UFOs, conspiracy, everything, and it just came upon on me that most of the testimonies of people, they say that they came here for peaceful intentions and they came here to help us, and there are many examples for it. And just when I read the book, Thiaoouba Prophecy, it felt like it's like a summation of everything I have read before in a book, and it felt very true. And I have never believed in anything other than that book, and it actually changed my life. And ever since I was a kid, I want to learn philosophy. I want to study the nature. I want to understand what is happening. So that's why I chose physics. But I think that the problem in this field is now that we're not focusing on spirituality. That's why we have many problems in this field. And that's why I read the book, and it really helped me. It really opened my mind. It's like opening my third eye. So when I read the book, I was very amazed by the book, and then I researched and I came about the website thiaouba.org is the official website, and then I came on YouTube and I saw you, and you were doing conferences about Thiaoouba prophecy, and I saw you that you met Michel de Marquet. So a few days back, I was watching your YouTube video. It was a podcast, and you were talking about the book 334% lies. So as you have read Thiaoouba prophecy, I will trust you if whatever is right, which other book is right. So I trusted you, and I read the book. It really changed my perspective, and it really, like, I was so, I don't know, made me very anxious, because Thiaoouba
Thank
prophecy
you.
gave me belief, and this gave me disbelief that there are people who can pretend to be smart. So that's why I read the book. I had many questions in Thiaoouba prophecy, and I have many questions in 334% lies. I have to tell you that I haven't read the book fully. 334% lies. I just stopped reading the book. I just need to take a break because my exams are nearby. I don't want my mind to get lower vibration. So yeah, I have many questions about Thiaoouba prophecy. I reached out to you. I never expected that you will reply me so fast, like in 3 minutes. So I'm so happy to meet you, and it's been honor to meet you, Samuel.
Oh, welcome.
I have many questions about the Thiaoouba prophecy, actually, and the book, but I just want to know. There's a one question that is very intriguing me about the book, that connects the book and Thiaoouba prophecy. That at the end, when Michel was returning to Earth, he asked about he asked to Thao that there are people that he basically asked about astrology,
Yeah.
and Thao just smiled and said nothing. But in the book, 334% lies, there's a whole section about astrology and how it matters. So is it true that Thao knew something about astrology, but she didn't want to talk about it to Michelle?
Yes, of course, Tao knows a lot about astrology, but she wanted us to do our own homework. Astrology works in the sense that Michelle, that he actually wrote a book, Nature's Revenge, and mentioned about why and how astrology works. What happens is that the locations and positions of different planets uh, affect affect the electromagnetic force of the 19% of electrons that go into the human astral body, um, and that actually can have certain kind of patterns that astrologers kind of use to predict what's going to happen in the future. It works because it affects the 19% of electrons that we all have. And I do see that Tao and her people utilize it to their advantage. And actually, I wrote an article on the birth of Jesus. and also the resurrection of Christ. Um, and I'm going to send you that article that I wrote is inspired by an astrologer who was given the correct appearance, the date of the appearance of Christ, not Jesus, but Christ. When he drew the chart, the birth chart, according to the date and time and location that he was given by a very mysterious caller, it turned out that the birth chart is a very perfect human being. It's like a very spiritual and very practical as well. And that article actually reveals a lot of the information knowledge that most people don't know about. However, it's very interesting and very deep in the sense that people have to have a lot of background information to understand the article that I wrote. So I don't think a lot of people get the information contained in the article. It's too deep. So I'll send it to you so maybe you can check it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Also, one thing about both the books is that it speaks about the lodge. That's like Illuminati or something. They say that they can predict the future through astrology, just like you said.
Yeah.
But in the book, Thao said that you should not know your future. You should see what future holds for you. So these two doesn't connect to each other. So is it bad to know a future?
Well, the future is determined by two factors. One is the events or critical events that are predetermined, just like the questions on test exam or examination are meant to happen. And really, life is about how you respond to the questions or tests. So there are predetermined events, but at the same time, you also have the free will to respond according to your own judgment. So it's really up to you. I mean, if you a lot of people can see what's going to happen in the future, the major events that are destined to happen. Um, However, if you really want to live the fullest of your life and to take the test without knowing what the questions are going to be on the test, then I think it's probably better not to know the questions.
Okay. Uh, Oh, there's one thing that hasn't been answered in the book that it touched the subject, but it didn't answer. It's not a big question, but I was very curious. Is when Thao was explaining about the blacks and yellow race, she also talked about Polynesian race, and Michelle asked that I come to be white. And Thao said, "Not so soon, not so fast." I will explain about that later. She said something like that, and she said something about the white race that they were in Atlantis, then went to Europe, and she didn't touch the subject really like in deep. That how where were they where did they originate from? She also talked about Hebrew people. They came from planet Hebra, but she never said about something about white people. They where they originate from.
That's correct. I don't remember if I asked Michelle that question when I was in Vietnam meeting him. I got the sense that it is maybe some kind of embarrassment or something that he didn't really want to put in the book. Because if you read between the lines, the Caucasian, the white race of people are or were actually very primitive. Um, Technologically and spiritually as well, compared to the Polynesians, the yellows, and to a certain extent the blacks, and definitely compared to the Hebrews. So I think there's certain element on that. But I also want to tell you that when the book is published in China, a lot of people say that Michelle is a white supremacist. This is how misunderstanding, like how misunderstandings can come about. I mean, if people read between the lines, they they would understand that the Caucasian people in this book are actually um, not that advanced. But a lot of misunderstandings
Uh,
come from
so I
that.
think they would get offended, the white people. So he did not put in the book.
Right, right, that's right.
Also, I just want to ask you, when you went to Vietnam to meet Michelle, he must. There's something that he was not allowed to write in the book that Tao told him, and I think that he must have said you something about the secrets. Did he?
Yeah, in the postscript, yeah, he says there are certain things that he was not allowed to write in the book because we were far from understanding them. The things that really shocked him. I learned about it on my second trip to Vietnam. I also wrote an article giving as many hints as possible, and I can send it to you as well.
So, will you ever tell, like in your life, someone who is worthy to know about this? Or
I wouldn't be able to tell anyone else because, but I can tell you the information is very precise. It's very exact. So it's not like general information as some of um, the people who tend to predict the future say about like, oh, what's going to happen, general information. But the information I was given is very precise and exact, specific.
okay, all right. Also, I was wondering that in the book, the how it speaks about reincarnation and how is the natural law of the universe, and about how much, in simple sense, how much good and how much spiritual enrichment you have in your life. It depends how much will you ascend in high realms. In religion from where I am, in Hinduism, I know that religion is a curse to humanity, but it has some hint of truth. And in my religion, it talks about reincarnations a lot. Like it's a natural act of God in reincarnation. About in my religion, also talked about karma, which is kind of connects to what Tao speaks about universal law and how you have to pay the price. So I was wondering how, if that's so much related to. I mean, he didn't talk about Hinduism, but how did like the idea emerged in India about, like there's so much true in Hinduism, that how did the idea emerge? Were they from people from Mu, or who were the people who came to India and taught so much thing?
Remember when Michelle was talking with Tao or some other people about what happened in the past, especially Lemuria or the continent of Mu, when they were trying to colonize other parts of the world, including India, they actually sought assistance from Tao and her people, appearing as gods or goddesses. So I think that's when the knowledge of spirituality was introduced to the Indian continent.
All right, okay. There's one thing that I actually, there are many things that I have questions, that's why I'm speaking to you. Well, it talks about that sometimes the planet disappear from the solar system and it reappears. Sometimes the planet explode. I don't really grasp what does this mean. What does this actually mean? I don't understand about when she said that there is sometimes a planet can disappear from the solar system, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, she was describing about the patterns of the systems similar to the solar system, in which 8 or 9 planets revolve around a star. And sometimes there are two stars, and there are also 5-star systems as well. So it's like I think she was encouraging astronomers to look into that subject matter to see if there's a pattern in which planets, 9 or 8 planets revolve a star or two stars, and then the stars revolve around a bigger star, like 9 stars or 8 stars revolve around a bigger star, and then goes to the center of the universe. So I was trying to get astronomers to act and to see if they can analyze the what we have seen so far to see if this can be proven.
In the website, Thiaoouba website, it talks about a planet that existed before, and the people from Greece, they noted that it exploded. Photon, the planet, the name was Photon something, and it was the ninth planet, and exploded. That's why there is asteroid belt. So the explosion of a planet that, well, that's no asteroid belt. That's what the book says. That's why I was interested. So is it so? Which if a solar system has inhabitants, any like beings living there, is it always nine planets revolving around the solar system?
Well, eight or nine. I really don't think there are other life forms in our solar system anymore. In the past, Mars was a planet. I don't know about now, but one thing I can tell is that I don't know if you know, we haven't been back to the moon for 50 years, even though the cost is much less and technology is more advanced. We were worn down from the moon by ETs. I don't
Yeah.
know which race of ET, probably the Polynesians, ancestors of the Polynesians, but probably other ETs. So that's the reason we haven't been back to the moon, um, because we are not spiritually ready. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
I've also figured this out. I was reading many testimonies of those who went to moon and what they saw and how the telepathic communication, what they hear from the ETs. And that's exactly what you said, that you're not ready to come here. That's why they haven't been to the moon. But now they're planning to go to the moon. I don't know why, but I think they haven't learned their lesson. So
No, they want to get more funding from the government.
yeah. Uh, so there are so many conspiracies that I know that's not related to the book. I'm just very curious to know if you know something about it. There are many conspiracies that the U.S. government, specifically the U.S. government, is in contact with the ET race, or also the Greys that Michelle talked about, and he said. So are they like they calling the Canadian defense minister also said that former Canadian Paul Haler, he said that there's a galactic federation. Is it something? Like, is it a disinformation or is it true?
I don't think we would be part of the Galactic Federation. We are too
Primitive.
we are not ready yet. So they're hopeful that there's going to be a Galactic Federation, but those are just fantasies, I think.
Mhm. The moon, the book talks about that the moon is going to collide with Earth, but I think it's a very frequent question. Maybe people have asked you. Also written in the book. I don't. I just wanted to know your opinion that uh, in the research it says that the moon is going 3 centimeter away every year, a few centimeters away every year, and Tao says that it's going to crash in like 190,000 years ago after something around that. So why haven't we found any evidence? Is it a? It feels like a free opportunity. If you someone reads a book, if someone is an astrophysicist, it's a free opportunity for him to find out the truth. That oh, if Thao said, then it must be true. Then I just need to find something out that to prove that it is going to crash. But no one has found any evidence for that.
You know, I think about 7 or 8 years ago, there was a professor of physics or astronomy that kind of made into the news headlines that he believed that the moon was is going to collide with Earth, but then he got ridiculed. And then when I tried to find the news article again, I cannot find it anymore. It just disappeared from the internet. And also I tried to contact some of the authoritative scientists on this matter to see if they can provide me with more recent data to about the distance from Earth to the moon, and they just ignored my requests. Uh, c- uh, Professors from Caltech and also some of the professors from other countries. When I contact the professors in Europe or the scientists in Europe, they always direct me to the professor in Caltech, and the professor in Caltech just didn't respond to my inquiries. I don't know if you can help me to make some inquiries.
Well, I still believe that there is a very a lot amount of secrecy in, especially the physics and actually in every science community, every science. I think they're withholding many information about new energy, new propulsion system, new types of like cancer cure or any like many things that are very people suffer from. I think they're keeping secrets for their own profit. That's also what the book said. So I think they won't answer it. They have many reasons to not to tell us, and I think they're withholding the information, and that's why we are doomed.
Yes.
Also, a few, I think around 60, 50, 60, or 70 years ago, there was a very huge famous crash in US, somewhere in Arizona, or Mexico, somewhere. It's called Roswell crash. And Michelle said it was true. So you think there are there any other crashes that has been debunked by people from the government, but it's true and they're still doing it right now?
Yeah, I think Roswell really happened, and also there are other events that really happened, and there are government cover-ups, and things are getting more public nowadays, with people coming out to testify in Congress.
There's a very famous UFO incident in Zimbabwe. I don't know if you know, but I think you know. So the ETs came in. It was a preschool. It was a school, and they descended, and they were showing. They were talking through telepathy to the children about what is going to happen if we will be more materialistic, and that is and I think that's debunked by people from the government as well. People keep it secret. It's a very huge event, and people and children don't lie at very small age. So I think that's true. What do you think about that? I think that's very connect to the book, what the book titles tell us.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to uh, kind of help us in a way to get us back on the right track.
There is one thing that I don't understand about reincarnation, that if we'll do something bad, something a sin, simplified, simply a sin. If we do a sin, if we keep on sinning, then we will keep on reincarnating on Earth or a planet with same category as Earth, but we'll not ascend to a different planet unless we learn our lesson and we'll keep move on. But is it always true that we'll born a human always?
Um, It really depends which part of the astral body you're talking about. The 81% of electrons are always going to stay in human bodies, but the other 19% may be recycled by nature and go into the astral bodies of animals or plants. So it really depends. It's a very complicated system. But the 81% are always going to be reincarnated into human bodies.
So we'll always be human.
The 81% of electrons.
89% of us will be human.
Yes.
So the animals are just 19% of our astral body. That's
It
why they
could
are.
be the maximum could be.
So is that the reason they are they're not intelligent, because it says 19% of our body. It's all
uh
astral.
part of but sometimes animals are so human-like, they
Yeah.
remember something. So that actually can be explained a little bit.
Okay. Do you know about the Book of Ra?
Yes, I heard about it and I read some parts of it.
I've also read the book, but I was very enthusiastic when I first read the book. I thought it's just like a testimony from Thiaoouba Prophecy, but something does. There are many things that doesn't align, and now I was that time I was confused that what should I believe. But now I know Thiaoouba Prophecy. I believe in that. But then what about the Book of Ra? Is it a fraud?
No, those are just information given by the spirit to a person that receives such information. But in order to be more convincing and make people feel that it's more reliable, we need to have specific verifiable facts. So that's the thing that I'm looking for when I read books like those.
Because the common in the what is common in the both books is that they talk about higher planes of existence. The Book of Ra also tells about higher planes of existence, but in a very different way. Seventh spiritual body, something that's very different from the book, but it has some bit of similarity. So that's why I was I was asking. That's why I wanted to ask you what's your opinion. So, um, there's one. I was really sad when I read the book about the 334% lies, and then when the author has so much psychic energy that he can also change his aura,
Yeah.
and there are many people from the lodge that has psychic energy.
Yeah.
So when I read the book Thiaoouba Prophecy and 334 Lies, after reading 334 Lies, only the 30 pages of it, and also including what I heard from your podcast. So I didn't understand how can these people who have bad intentions to the world can have spiritual gifts, because I thought that you have to earn, you have to be spiritually advanced, you have to understand.
So if you finish reading the book, you'll know that he had many reincarnations in the past. He was a pharaoh in Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and also he actually, after going through all the events that occurred as described in the book, he had finally realized everything is about love.
If, all right,
Yeah.
but there are people with psychic gifts and they have bad intentions. That's very so. Is these things what they're having, what they're learning about the psychic, the changing aura and levitation? Is it about knowledge and not spiritual understanding? Is it
Yeah.
different from spirituality?
Yeah, it's knowledge, and also it's not about the spiritual understanding. Well, this is why a lot of secret societies are secret. Originally, they had the Enlightenment. They wanted to make the world a better world. And they knew, and they still know that some of the knowledge or the techniques that they discovered can be used to destroy a lot of people. So that's why they keep that in a certain form that cannot be passed on to the common people who are not spiritually ready, because the techniques are so dangerous that if they're misused, it's going to cause catastrophes. So that's why there are secret societies in the very beginning.
What is the significance of collective consciousness?
Well, I think it can change the world for better and for worse. It's just um, to see if people can be waking up or not.
Mm. I was when I was searching about the book 334% lies, I came upon a presentation slide about that you made about the book, and there were four cards. One was that hints 9/11. Other was something about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So, and there are many cards. There was one card that shows that two people were hanging. Two people were hanging, and you said now you said that it's coming soon. Question mark. You said I think there are four cards, and three of them has already happened now. Oh, one was also coronavirus. The last one was two people hanging. Maybe people who represent the government. They were hanging. They were hanged. What do you think about that? Is it?
I think that already happened. The cards that I put on my PowerPoint presentation are the events that already happened, so or are happening right now. I think I didn't. Those are the Illuminati card game cards. So I think I only selected the ones that I think that happened. I,
Where did you find the cards?
well, if you search online, you can find it. Illuminati card game. You can find all sets of cards.
Are there any books that you can recommend me other than Theva Prophecy, which you think that could be which you think that has truth in it?
Yeah, I actually have a list.
Oh,
I can send it to you.
okay. There's a very controversial question that I will ask you about Thuba prophecy. Um, is that I don't have any opinion on homosexuality. I never had. I never think of having opinion on that. But when I read the book at the end,
Mhm.
at the coming end, it says that it's neurotic.
Yeah.
If this, yeah, yeah, you're speaking. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's actually there's a researcher or psychologist in the U.S. Based in San Francisco. He actually did a lot of study and research on male homosexuals and found that their mothers tend to be very, very dominant in the family relationship. So he believed that the family like uh, relationship or the personalities of the parents are one of the determining factors for their children, whether they become a homosexual or not. So his name is called Charles Carlgrid or something. I can find the name of that researcher for you. Yeah, but a lot of this is very controversial, especially in Taiwan and also in the US. A lot of people are put off by that. They stopped reading the book and they stopped having any association with the book. But I think that deserves a lot of research, more additional research.
That's what I thought when I read the book. That because I don't have had any opinion, so I took it as a fact. But if people, there's a growing number of people who are homosexual nowadays,
Mm.
and if they would read the book, maybe in 50 pages or maybe in 100 pages, they will say, "Oh, that's true, that's true," and at the end of the page, they say, "Oh, neurotic." That's very controversial, and I don't think that they will love it.
I know, I agree.
So, if that's true, do you think that there's so much LGBTQ movement going on? Is it a government propaganda or what's happening now?
I think it's both. It's a lot of people are born that way nowadays, or become that way after they have they're influenced by their parents. And also there's a push for their rights by certain organizations. Um, yeah,
Okay, so I think people need to be actually very ready to read the book, but it has many controversial things in the so. But that's the truth. That's true. If
mm,
you could, I can see the truth in everything. So I mean, I was having difficulty when I read about the black race and the Asian race, how they came from a planet called Bakartini and they came to Earth. That's a very different thing that I've ever read in my life. But then, the more I read the book, the more I realized that I think if that's true, then that would be true. So that's how I tackled the book. But now I see the book as something that is very true. Also coming to oh, you were speaking. Sorry,
which part of India are you from?
I'm from Delhi, the capital.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I was there in December. Okay.
Oh,
I wrote about my trip to India. I can send it to you.
how did you find the trip?
Very, very interesting. I like it very much.
But I think that people nowadays, and I think that this would be controversial. I don't think that many people from India would watch it, but see us. That many people in India they do idol worship. They make stones. They make gods from stones, and they make several gods. Like there are many types of god in
Yes,
Hinduism.
yes, yes.
That is not. You will not walk closer to the path of God if you just worship a stone.
Mm,
I personally believe that even an atheist who helps the needy and feeds the poor walks closer to God than those who pretend to be.
yeah, we have 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Okay, so one more. Okay, last two questions. Is
okay.
that the many religion talks about you not eating non-veg is bad. Like I think not many, only Hinduism. So they eat. They in Thiaoouba they eat non-veg. Is non-veg eating bad or how do they like? Because people there are many animal activists that you should not harm animal. That's bad. What I don't understand about the non-veg. How do they non-vegetarian food?
Well, if people live in the Arctic area, there are no plants or vegetables for them to eat, then they have to resort to eating animals. It really depends on the environment. There's no absolute rule that says you have to be a vegetarian. I think when you eat animal meat, well, you have to kind of when you do that, you have to get the permission from the animal first. You have to inform. So this is why in ancient practices, people kind of use a a ceremony or something just to seek for permission. And that I think that's probably the way to go. And actually, I got inspiration from the book Conversations with God.
Okay. I have one last question. In higher, there you have one higher self that foresees nine people,
Yeah.
including you, and the more higher realms you get, and at the ninth level, the ninth planet, there's only your one part of the higher self.
Yes.
Does that mean that all the nine people, including me, are one?
Yes, that's right. You accumulate all the knowledge and the experiences of the night people, and actually you have more psychic abilities when you become like that. So this is why 334 lies is so interesting because when you read the parts that are so disturbing, he actually absorbs the other person's astral body into his astral body. That's why he gained more psychic powers.
Okay, but what does that make me? What does that make me as an identity if there's
Well,
many people
you're
living
kind
through
of
me?
you're kind of become the two, the unified two. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
But
I have
that's,
to
I'm not suggesting people do that. It's not. So that's the way he did it. I would suggest people do it naturally,
yeah.
without harming others.
Can I know if someone is having the same higher self as me? How would I know? Would they be same as me?
Ah, it's kind of, well, if you see that person, you kind of feel it. So I think that may be some hint, some
All
hint.
right. I don't. I mean, I don't think we have time. So I think I'll. It's fine if I've asked many questions too. So I just want to talk to you now.
But when you finish reading 334 Lies, we can do it again.
Okay.
That book is very interesting. Also, my main mission is to promote this book as many people as possible. I don't know if you have any ideas or suggestions or anything you can do to help out.
Actually, I have not the 334 lies because I have read it like few days before, but Thiaoouba Prophecy I have sent to each and every friend that can understand the book, not those that who cannot and who denies God. Yes, no one reads it. That's
Mhm.
the problem. No one. I try to. Uh, my friend, I have a friend that he has so much knowledge about uh, the soul, understanding the soul, but he denies my book because he says, "Oh, that's an alien." Why would I? That's the problem in people nowadays. They won't understand. That's why I think I should keep this to myself as for now because people denies the book.
And my experience is that sometimes the kind of people that you think will never understand this get it. So the people who are in the financial industry, who are earning a lot of money, and people who are so into materialistic aspect of their lives, when they read a book, they're so into it, just like you. So it's very interesting how people react to this book.
Yeah.
Never make any assumptions.
Hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, just one question: will you post this on YouTube or because I want to see this once
Yeah,
more?
I'll post it in a few minutes
Okay.
after.
All right. Thank you so much. Do you want? What do you think about? Um, do you think that I should read the book once again, or
Yes, at least three times for Thiaoouba Prophecy. And then for the 334 lies, it's up to you. You can just, yeah, stop reading. Or
I'll try reading that book. I will try my best.
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Very nice talking to you, and it's been an honor to meet you.
My pleasure as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see
Bye.
you.